As some of you might already know from my previous video, I recently reformatted my computer, and in that process, I was a dum-dum and I forgot to back up my channel folder, which had all of my assets that I've used for my previous videos, including my Eula outro. And while I've been slowly rebuilding and adding new things to my repertoire of assets, I have not gotten to an outro yet, and I think it's about time. I've had time to grieve, and I think it's time to move on. And in that process, I decided, hey, let's just record all of the 5-star bursts and see what I have to work with. Maybe there's something I would like to do instead of Eula. Maybe I just want to do the same Eula one again. I was quite happy with it, and I think I could do better now. At least I hope. So if I'm going to record everyone's bursts anyway, why not rank them and see if I can upset anyone with opinions. First up on the list, Albedo.
Witness my great undertaking.
Now, I think the start of Albedo's burst is freaking amazing looking, but the payoff at the end with the spikes is just not, it's so underwhelming, especially when you factor in how weak it is, but like, I'm not gonna judge the animation or the damage of the burst. His is like a C for me.
You're stuck now.
Aloy also has a really sick windup, and I gotta admit, the burst would probably look a little bit cooler if I gave her something better than a gray bow. But regardless, nice startup, really nice explosion finish. Overall solid, I give it a B. Now the startup for Ayaka's is beautiful. The burst of cryo that happens after the little cinematic part is really nice looking, but then after that you just kind of watch a cloud just slowly move forward and slaughter everything around, which is cool and all, but it's not the prettiest after the startup. I give her like a B.
You can run, but you can't hide. Shouldn't let your guard down.
You know, I didn't even notice until I started doing this that Child's range burst doesn't even take away the UI like a typical 5-star burst animation does, which I guess is fitting because the range burst is kind of lame as hell, but the melee burst is a lot better looking. But since I'm going to rate these both together, the range burst is going to drag Child down to a C. This is the first easy S rating. Everything about this burst is amazing. The startup, the big fiery explosion, the bird flying across the battlefield, carrying all the small enemies to their death up into the sky, and then setting his sword on fire. Easy, easy S tier.
Freeze to the core.
Do I even really need to say anything to let you guys know how I feel about this burst? There's a reason it was my first outro. It is beautiful looking. The whole animation is just so smooth, even without an immediate payoff. Another easy yes. And honestly, this might be my outro again. We'll see.
This is long overdue.
Ganyu's burst is honestly nothing that special looking, but the effect is really cool, and I don't want to give it an A just for that, so yeah, I'm gonna give it an A.
Time to go.
You know, I'm giving Hu Tao's points literally just for the cute ghost and the butterflies in the fire. They're just a nice detail, and I'd say that like that gives her an A.
Oh, you're coming through.
Now I know what some of you are thinking. I love Ito, and I'm going to be biased. Well, you're wrong. I think Ito's burst is okay looking. The splash screen is kind of cool, but that's about it. And for that, I'm gonna give him like a C.
I swear by my sword.
Poor Jean will unfortunately be earning my first D ranking because it kind of just looks like a 4-star that got the 5-star cutscene treatment. But yeah, D.
Clouds high, the birds come.
I'm so damn torn on Kazuha's because it looks so cool, especially when it infuses, but God, you can't see shit when it's active and infused. Like literally anything outside of it, you can barely see. So like honest, I would give this an S, but I'm docking it points down to A for being a little extra.
Nowhere to hide.
Kaching's burst is just one of those bursts that's just oozing with style. It looks so awesome, and it's so satisfying to watch it hit everything around you. It's just a shame it's not as strong as it is amazing looking, because this thing is S tier. Klee's got a decent enough burst. The explosion at the beginning is really cool with the clover leaf and whatnot, and some pretty effects, but other than that, you know, pretty average. I would say it's like B tier. Gonna be real here, I'm giving this thing an S just for the first 1 second alone. It is goddamn gorgeous when she's underwater and you can see like fish and turtles behind her and all the beautiful water effects.
Decided by destiny.
Lona's Burst has a lot of nice effects with like the constellations and the stars and stuff, but if it had a little bit more detail, I would give it an S. But I think she just like barely doesn't make the cut, and like solid A.
Sacred name, fortune preserver.
Look, I know I crap on Chi-Chi in a lot of ways, but the burst is not going to be one of those ways. This thing is amazing looking. Her starting pose, hovering up in the air, the gigantic cry explosion around her, the spirits that are swirling around, and all the snowflakes, all of it is just amazing looking, just like everything else about Chi-Chi, except her state in the meta. This is easily one of the best looking bursts in the entire game. Another easy S tier.
Inazuma shines eternal.
Raiden's burst is easily my favorite one in the entire game. Everything about this is just amazing looking. Like, I love the full screen slash effect, the glass break effect, and especially the sword slashes after she actually starts attacking. All of it is just f***ing gorgeous. Another S.
Cryo incarnate.
So I was definitely ready to give Shenhe's like a D or an F until I started editing this and I realized the little clone just flies around and slashes every once in a while, and that's a pretty cool effect. And for that, I give it at least a B.
Time for takeoff.
Venti's another one of those bursts that I get to appreciate a little bit more while I'm here editing it, watching it in slow-mo, because you get to see the gigantic burst when it first forms and the little feathers just flying all around the place, when I don't really notice those when I'm too busy just killing everything that he's sucking up. What was initially going to be a B it's an S.
Lament!
Now, if I were to judge Xiao's purely on the burst animation alone, when you cast it, it would be an F, because there's like nothing going on here. He puts on a mask and then there's some particle effects. But with the plunge, which I think is only fair to judge because that basically is his burst, I would say it's at least a B.
A sight to behold.
Now, I know a lot of people would give Ye's an S just because of the bedroom high she gives you at the start, but that's not why I like it. I love the detail when it starts up, and I especially love the detail of the little foxes that come out of the lightning blast from destroying the totem. This one's another S, and I'm really getting tired of doing this S rank animation. As much as I really don't want to keep doing the S tier animation, I love her burst so much. But why? Why did I do this to myself? I could have done a normal tier list like everyone else, just screen record my browser.
Order guide you.
We all know Zhongli's is an S. The sky opening up is sick. The colors are awesome. The meteor itself is cool. Like, why? Why? What else can I say? The voice lines are awesome. You know, it's nice to hear him say something that's not osmanthus wine for once. It's an S. I think we all knew it was going to be an S. And to just like peel back the curtain for a bit and let you know why this would drive me so crazy by the end, is because the way I decided to do this, it became increasingly more annoying and tedious to do anything more than the bare minimum as time went on. But oh well, I hope you enjoyed the little bit of eye candy and the list. And I would love to hear what you think is the best and the worst bursts in the game, because honestly, most of them ended up being pretty good. Not many real bad ones. Like even Jean, who I put at the bottom, I think is still pretty good looking. She just doesn't really quite hold up to the other 5 stars. So yeah, if you want to really rate the entire list down in the comments, do it. I'll read it. Or maybe you just want to say what your least favorite and your most favorite is. Either way, like, I'm interested to see what you guys have to say, because this is a very subjective thing. It's visuals and everyone has their own preferences. And these were mine. And if they upset you, well, I'm not sorry. Regardless of what you decide to do, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Join my Discord, Patreon, you know, if you want. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one.